Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how you can set up Cosmo on your VPS. So of course for this you will need a VPS to run this on. When you're just starting out, Cosmo actually doesn't need very high specs. You can get away with just a 1GB of RAM VPS. And the cheapest I've seen these is on GalaxyGate, so I'll leave a link in the description to where you can get this. I'd recommend the $3 a month standard 1GB one, and this will do you just fine. And in this example, that's exactly what I'm going to be using. So you're first of all going to want to download Cosmo. You can do this from Modrinth or Built by Bit. I'll leave links to both down in the description, but if you go on Modrinth, you click down here, this will be the latest version. You simply click download and it should download in your browser. So now I've got the latest version of Cosmo here, I can right click it and click extract all, and this will extract all the files into its own folder. So in the folder you'll see a lot of files, but in this video we're going to be mainly looking at the Cosmo files folder. So in here is everything you need to run Cosmo, and you're going to want to upload these to your VPS. So I'm not going to show you how you get your details to your VPS because this will be different for each provider, but you should normally just be emailed them when you buy it, and I'm going to be using Bitbuys to connect to it. So I've put my host in here, I've got my username which is root and my password which you'll get in your email. And I can click login down here and you should see it logs me in. It says authentication completed. So I can open the terminal console here. So there you go. And then open the SFTP window here. And this is where I can upload my files to. So what I'm basically going to be doing is starting Cosmo, and any errors that come up, I'll run through how you fix them, and yours should also be the same. So you're going to want to make a folder in your VPS just called Cosmo or whatever you want so that you can hold all your files in there. So I'm just going to have it /Cosmo here. And then you're simply going to want to drag all of these folders and files into here. And then you'll see they upload here. So before we start, we are going to need to change some settings. So if I open up settings.yml, you can see here, this is our settings file. And the main thing you want to change is your Discord bot information. So you want to change your bot token. You'll need to change this to your main server ID. And the rest you can technically leave default, but I really recommend you go through it and change it all to how you like it. So to create our Discord bot, we're going to need to come over to discord.com/developers/applications. I'll leave a link to this in the description as well. You want to click on new application up in the corner, and then you just want to name your application anything you want. I'm going to call mine Cosmo Setup Test. You want to agree to the Discord developer terms of service and developer policy, and then click create. And you'll see you get the general information here. You can change the app icon and also the description, and as you can see here, it will show up in the About Me section of your bot's profile. So if you come to bot over here, you can also set the icon here. I think this should mirror what's here, but you might have to change it to make sure, and you can also add a banner to your bot. We will need to get the bot token though, so if you click reset token, click yes, do it. And if you have multi-factor authentication, you'll also have to put a code in. So I've just done that and I've got my token here, so if I click copy, I can then come to the notepad here and replace bot token with my bot token. Just make sure to leave these quotation marks in here. We'll also need to invite the bot to our Discord server. So if I click OAuth2 here, you can then click bot here to make it a bot. You'll also need to click applications.command so that it can register commands. And then just click administrator. And then you can copy this link here, place it into a tab, and this is your link that you can use for adding the bot to your server. So there you go, add to server Cosmo setup test, click continue, and then authorize. And there you go, it's been added to the server. So this is the server I'm going to use for this example. Now you'll also need the server ID. You can right click this and click copy server ID. But if you don't see that option, then you're going to have to turn on developer options. You can do this by going into user settings, scrolling down to advanced, and then turning on developer mode. So I'm just going to copy the server ID, go back to the notepad document and change the main server ID to this. I'm also going to disable bot logs for now since I haven't defined a channel for any of them. So if you've opened the settings.yml from your SFTP client and you save it, it should upload it back, but just double check that it actually has done that. So now in your console, you want to direct to this file path here. So if you type the command cd space and then paste in /root/Cosmo, you could paste by right clicking by the way, then it will take us to that file path. So we now need to install the dependencies using this command here. I'll leave this command also in the description. So as you can see, when I ran it, it said Python 3.11 was not found. This is because Python 3.11 isn't on our system, and it requires exactly Python 3.11 due to how it's packaged. So I'll leave an article in the description to how you can install Python 3.11, but there are only 3 commands to it, so I'm just going to copy and paste them in here. First of all, I need to type this one here. This repository we've just downloaded allows us to install any other version of Python as well, but I'm also going to update the Ubuntu software just to make sure we're all up to date. And then we can type sudo apt install Python 3.11 and then click yes to say we're happy to install that, and it should all install for us. So we're also going to need to install Python pip, and you can do that with this command here. This just allows us to install the requirements. Now I am using a completely fresh VPS to do this. If you've already used your VPS to do something else with Python, it's more than likely all of this was already set up for you. But once pip is installed, we can then use the following command to install all the requirements needed for Cosmo. It seems I've come out of the Cosmo directory, so I just need to go into Cosmo again by doing cd Cosmo, and then I can run it and it should install everything for me. And then finally, to run Cosmo, we just have to type Python 3.11 and then main.py. And then as you can see, it will load everything. But we have actually got an error that says that the privilege intents have not been explicitly enabled. And that's simply because I've forgotten to enable the intents on our Discord bot. So to fix that, just come over to bot, and you're going to want to enable message content and server members intent, which are these two here. So this is just down from where we set the token. Just click these two switches here and then click save changes. And then if we do Control C to exit out of that and then rerun it, you should see Cosmo starts perfectly fine. There you go, it says Cosmo version 2.1.0 is now online. And it adds me and the bot itself to the database because we're already in the server. And then anyone else who joins will also be added to the database. Hello, future me just dropping in to say you can't actually run Cosmo straight from the console because otherwise once you close it. So we're going to use something called Tmux, which you can use, which will have basically screens that you can... We're going to use something called Tmux, which is basically like Windows that you can open and have multiple open at once. You can just only see one through the console. So if we do Tmux, then you'll see it opens up this here. The ID of this is 0, and anything we type in here will stay here. And then if we do Control B and then press D, then it will take us out. It says detach from session 0. And then if we want to come back, we can do Tmux-A0, I believe. Oh, my bad, it's Tmux A-T0, and this will connect us back in. So from here, we can then type cd Cosmo, and then type Python 3.11 main.py, and you can run it through here. And then when you close the window, it will actually stay running. So coming back to the Discord server we've just made, you can see that the bot is now online. And if I type /, you can see it's registered loads of / commands, which is everything that Cosmo uses. You can type things like /profile, which will bring up your profile. And you can then start importing cosmetics with the /import command. Just remember that to see any cosmetics in game, you'll need to install Cosmo with your IP address of your server. I've had my IP address here. As you can see, this is the primary IP. So this is what I'll need to redirect Optifine traffic to. And information on manual installs can be found in the Cosmo Discord server. So that's pretty much how you set up Cosmo. If you have any questions, you're better off getting an answer by joining the Cosmo Discord server rather than leaving a comment. If I'm honest, you're just more likely to get an answer a lot quicker, so that's probably the best way of doing so. There's a link to the Discord server on every resource page, but also I'll leave one down in the description for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.